The middle part should contrast a bit, like a lot. Um, yeah, it's so strange. I mean, we have sempre più stretto, right? Ed appassionato. By the time you get here, and then triple forte. So it's like Jesus. This is so OTT. So maybe, and again, sostenuto, but maybe not so much. Like maybe it should be a little faster. Then he gives you this sort of ritenuto to the con anima. And that's where it gets really like beyond my understanding, as far as understanding this part is kind of playful. It is so rare. Okay, okay. Ah, chords. And then it's like he's interrupted with an existential crisis because he's got triple forte again, and then crescendos after that. It is a like total fit of frustration. And then recitativo. Do I feel when I play this part? I feel like this is strange anxiety. It's like sometimes if you get excited, at least this happens to me, get excited and then it turns like you try to keep it on the good side, but then it flips over into anxiety because it's just adrenaline, and then that sort of turns into a weird despair. So it's like the happier you were, the more anxious you suddenly become. This piece is Chopin Nocturne in C sharp minor, Opus 27, number 1. And it starts so it's like it is like Indian drone music, you know? It's like this reminds me of ragas or something. And my goal here is so that there's almost no attack. You just hear this chord swelling up from the resonance, but you don't really hear the attacks. This joy is like you temporarily win with anxiety. Mm-hmm. Sounds like what you sometimes feel at work. I understand. And what is this calm? You know, it's like you're trying to do something. Like you're trying to meditate, or right, or you're trying to clear your mind, and then something like I don't know how many of you have experienced panic attacks before, but sometimes a single thought can just begin this feedback loop of total dread, you know? And it's like this stillness, and then the thought happens. And it's like when I used to get them, I would become obsessed with my heartbeat, and I would imagine it was going to stop at any moment, actually. So this is kind of like, it's almost like a heartbeat pushing forward. You know? So play the beginning with double escapement just on the action. Yeah, yeah, if I can. If I can. It's a paper thin line, right? Struggle with anxiety so much. I'm sorry to hear that. Stop streaming and many things. I understand it is completely crippling if it's bad. I had years of it actually. And for anyone struggling with it, it is awful. Simply awful. You used to have times where you believe you literally die if you stopped moving. Yeah, it's the worst. The first time somebody described a panic attack to me, it was my teacher, and I didn't get it. I didn't get it at all. And then they started happening eventually later, and it really messed me up. It put me in the ER several times, and I would just insist that there was something wrong with me, and there wasn't. Yeah, it feels like it's impossible. Hey, Elendris. It's good to see you. And depression. I've had the gamut, I feel. I'm a fainting goat. I actually get them so bad I pass out. And used to be I would haul my ass like they would start happening, and then I would walk very quickly to the 24-hour drugstore down the road just to be there, like in a chair, in case I passed out, and like just so that somebody would be there to see me. It was really because I didn't want to just like pass out by myself. But I didn't have any friends or anybody I knew at the time, so I would just be in the drugstore, sitting in a chair, waiting for it to be over. Classical music helps you a lot. I understand. For a time, classical music was a trigger for me. Reapproaching classical music was very difficult. Yeah, the nocturnes are amazing for that. Yeah, yeah, as a light. Well, and so many things can set them off. In my case, it was physiological. Um, I noticed that they would happen when I would lay down, and they were actually related to some stomach acid issues that I had. It wasn't necessarily a psychological disorder, it was too much stomach acid in this case, compounded with um, a poor balance in my GABA glutamate. You get a bit triggered thinking about sitting at the bench. I mean, I feel you, Izzy, I do.